during the President Obama era, if I'm correct, you will recall that the problem then was that a lot of people's homes were either going up for foreclosure. But God used President Obama to stop that. And I think the people were given more time to settle with the borrowers or whatever. Thank God. And then he used President Obama to bail out some banks. I think AIT was one of them. There was also another bank. People went to those banks. I think on Friday, the bank was okay. Monday, they go there, everything is locked up. You can imagine what that means. You put your money in a bank, everything is okay. By Friday, by Monday, they've liquidated the bank or something like that. That's sad. I remember there was a time in Greece where no matter how much money you had in the bank, if you went to the ATM, each person could not collect more than a certain amount of money. It was being rationed. I don't know, because Greece was in a lot of debt. I mean, Greece was in a lot of debt. I don't know how they have solved their problem now. But these things that happened then, they are resurfacing again. And there's some nations that will be in terrible distress financially. And when they look to other nations to borrow, or they look to the IMF brings stringent conditions on those nations, which makes those nations subservient. The IMF might say, well, you got to, for example, there was a time Nigeria wanted to borrow a loan from IMF. IMF, that's International Monetary Fund, said, you got to devalue your Naira. And those people knew that, well, if they want help from the IMF, they will have to devalue our own currency. This has happened to nations before. I remember Ghana many years ago. They were in a distressful situation financially, and they had to devalue their currency. I do not know how many CD, which is the Ghanaian currency now equivalent to $1. I think it's going to be in the thousands of CD. In Nigeria, it's not yet up to 1,000 naira per dollar, but in Ghana, I think it's thousands of CD equivalent to $1. When I went to India, about 4,000 rupee, or they're about equivalent to $100. So maybe that's about 4,000 rupee equivalent to $100. That'll be about $40 per rupee. That's well, still better than what we have in Nigeria here anyway. So you're going to begin to see these things more and more. But thank God for the salvation He has provided for His children. Thank God for this immutability in the financial realm that we need to master. Now, first of all, it's important that the people want the hand of God to be upon their finances or what they do, then they cannot escape tithing. I think the first record of tithing was found in Abraham. Of course, tithing is a subject that people do not always like to hear, but when we are talking about God's financial salvation package, that is, if it's to deliver you from the roughness of the times, then tithing is a necessity. And I think any minister that tells you otherwise is not going to be helping you. Like I said, it is not something that we want to always talk about because people will criticize us and say, oh, those people have come again. But I'm going to share some testimonies with you about what I saw the Holy Ghost do in the lives of church members here in Nigeria. I saw the supernatural. I think I've said it before. But understand, if you are a tither, you stand a chance of having things go better for you financially than those who are not tithers. And even if maybe a person loses his job, God will open another door for that person, because that person has been a tither. There are some believers that do not believe in tithing. But I think anybody that knows the truth will try to help such people and say, look, no matter what they are telling you, tithing is necessary if you want to bring God into your finances. And if you want him to be there, especially to deliver you in hard financial times. And tithing is just the best. Now, tithing is not the only thing, but it's the beginning of God's financial salvation plan. Of course, I know that in many churches, people don't tithe, but you see, when they get into financial trouble and they want God to bail them out, it may not be that easy because already they are not latched onto his system. They're not latched onto it. Now, maybe occasionally they give, but the difference between tithing and giving, tithing is when you take 10% of your income and give it to the Lord. That is tithing. Giving can be more than 10%, less than 10%, and it's consistent. Tithing is consistent. Not something I just do when I feel good. And when I don't feel good, you see, because the world has already entered into an era of hard financial times. And it's not only happening in America. Nigeria is sometimes a funny country. Let me explain. So what do you mean by that? How can you say your country is funny? But let me explain to you what I mean by that. Now, from time to time, we've been having a steady supply of petrol. But recently, there appeared to be what I believe an artificial scarcity. Artificial scarcity is when some people have done some things to create issues. Those things that they have done are not really, they're not really authentic. Somebody did something to give a false appearance that there was something wrong. There was a time not too far, about maybe a month ago, there was an issue with, they say somebody brought in adulterated fuel. That's funny. And so for some time, the fuel prices went up because it was difficult for people to get fuel, But eventually it stabilized. And then before you know it again, there's what you call, I believe it's an artificial thing, artificial fuel scarcity. Anytime there's an artificial fuel scarcity, either somebody is hoarding the fuel, because either they want the government to either increase the fuel price or something of that nature. And then within that time that the fuel is hoarded, the price goes up to either now it's 165 naira per liter. I mean, that's nothing to the Americans. And 165 naira per liter would be, in American currency, would be about maybe 30 cents per liter. Now that may be small to you, but it's not small to Nigerians. Because 30 cents is nothing to an American, but to a Nigerian it is. The government wanted to remove fuel subsidy. And if they say they are subsidizing, if they had removed the subsidy, maybe the price would have gone to over 200 naira, which means a lot to Nigerians because everything will go up, transportation, food items. So this is what you see going on in different parts of the world. And it's there with you in America. Although in America, maybe nobody's holding the fuel, but you ask yourself, how did the fuel price in America manage to rise to, in some states, over $6? It's always been between $2 and $3. Suddenly it's double that amount. What happened to make that happen? Now they will blame in A, B, and C. But let me say it, they are devils engineering recession and inflation. It's engineered by devils. So whether he used the A that you saw, B that you saw, it is still Satan engineering it. And let me give you some scriptures Let me give you some scripture. First of all, Ephesians and chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, according to the course of this world. So the word course there means direction, means trend, means the path, the road the world is going down. And it says, according to the prince of the power of the air. So the course of this world is connected through that verse, we can see, to the prince of the power of the air. You know, and it says the prince of the power of the air is the spirit that now worketh. Notice, not going to start work, it's not going to start work tomorrow, but now worketh in the children of disobedience. I think that goes into the third verse. So my point is that the earth is being spiritually run. The people that you say made the mistakes, created the problems, are people that Satan just used to engineer those problems. And I'll give you some verses to show you this, because thank God it can be seen from the word. I'm in Ephesians chapter 2 now, and verse 2 and verse 3, which you've seen. Then if you go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the dark